Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another in the series of mock career counseling sessions. This is one about a person who's deliberating whether they should be self-employed. And the client starts by saying, I just got my psychotherapy license and I'm deliberating whether to start a private practice or be hired by an organization that employs psychotherapists, like Kaiser, that large California healthcare provider. And the counselor says, well, what do you see as the major pros and cons? Well, obviously, if you're self-employed, you have more control over what you do, but you have to market yourself and handle the billing and bookkeeping. Whereas if you're employed, you have more job security, but the employer controls your schedule, who you see, everything. Any of those seem most likely to affect your success and happiness? I don't think I'm much of a marketer, and I worry it'll take too long to build a practice. Well, are there any factors in favor of private practice that trump those? Well, as I think about it, not now. Maybe as I gain confidence and competence working for an organization, I'll feel better about selling myself. Let's slow down for a moment. Let's be silent for, say, 30 seconds, so you have a moment to get in touch with how you're feeling about that option. Is that okay? The client nods and they're silent for 30 seconds, and the counselor asks, so what are you feeling? Scared, actually. Too scared to be self-employed, but I'm also scared that as a newbie, no good employer is going to hire me. Every psychotherapist was a newbie at some point. Do you want to talk about how to maximize your chance of getting hired by a good organization? And the client nods. The counselor says, do you want to look for a job now or get some additional training first so you'll feel more competent? The client says, I've had enough school for a while. Well, you needn't go back to school. If you feel you have gaps, you could find a mentor or do another internship. I have all this student debt to pay back. I've got to try to find a job now. How does a newbie compete with people who have experience? I looked at some ads and they all asked for a few years of experience. Well, usually, your first job has to come from your network, people who care enough about you to look the other way about that and give a newbie a chance. Your friends or friends of friends, your professors, leads from your graduate school's career center. I went to the career center. All they do is resume and interviewing workshops and tell you to hit up people in the alumni directory. And what about your network? Well, my classmates are also looking for a job. I asked a few close friends and relatives, and all of those just seem like dead ends. Well, then your best shot may be to apply for those jobs that want years of experience, but make the case for why they should consider you anyway. Maybe because you're fresh and idealistic, not at all burned out, and that you're not stuck in your ways, and so you're open to their input. Do you really think that would work? Probably not in itself, but you'd have a solid chance if you also have a good LinkedIn profile, you customize your resume and cover letter for each job, you write a short white paper that you would include like 7 keys to effective short-term therapy, and you apply to lots of jobs. And when you do, email your network to see if anybody in your network knows someone in that organization who could put in a good word for you. It sounds like far from a sure thing. If you keep at it, and in interviews, if you demonstrate that for a new therapist you're good, I'm betting you will get a good job. After all, the unemployment rate is the lowest in 50 years. I hope you're right. Anyway, that's the end of that little mock career counseling session. I welcome, as usual, your thumbs up, thumbs down is acceptable if you feel it's appropriate, your comments, your sharing on social media, your subscribing to my channel, and in any event, I do appreciate your watching. I am Marty Nemko.